Mag-umpisa po tayo sa the hard facts about urbanization and informal settlers. Alam niyo ba mga kapuso that in 1960, ang urban areas ng Pilipinas only 30% of the Philippines. Alam niyo kung ilan ngayon? Is 66%, latest data. Now let's go to informal settlers. Alam niyo ng 2000, ang informal settlers po sa Metro Manila, sa NCR, comprised only 5.3% of the total families in Metro Manila. This was in 2000. Tignan natin kung ano nangyari sa 2006. 2006, 9.6% na po ng total families in Metro Manila were informal settlers. Aba naku, nung tinignan ko ang datos for 2012, the latest data that we found, if the data is correct, alam nyo ba, sa 2.8 million families na nasa Metro Manila, meron tayong 584,000 families na informal settlers. That's about 20%. So, tignan natin. Ang very attractive po ang Metro Manila. Merong mga pull factors. What are the pull factors? Of course, there's technology, there's infrastructure, there's better education, etc. Tapos may push factors rin from the rural areas. Ano yung push factors? Hindi sila productive doon. Masama na yung land doon. Maybe meron environmental damage. Hindi na sila nakaka-earn ng whatever money that they need for their lives. So they come to Metro Manila. So, here is the problem. Ito naman, attracted sila sa Metro Manila. Now, let's look at the local government units. Alam nyo, in 1991, with the local government code, there was supposed to have been already an inventory of yung mga who are the informal settlers in Metro Manila kasi gusto talaga ng gobyerno, the national government and the local governments to make sure that they are accommodated. Kaya nung 1991, kailangan may comprehensive land use program, may shelter program, etc. that all the local government units were supposed to handle and update every 3 years. And the objective was, to make sure that yung mga nasa informal settlers na ando doon, ma-accommodate, housed properly, etc. But at the same time, and here is where the problem came in, mag-iimbentaryo ng mga informal settlers and then to make sure that these local governments would make it unattractive for other informal settlers to come in kasi kung talagang pasok ng pasok, yung problema po ng local governments, talagang there's no solution to it. Every time, kasi gusto siyempre ng local governments na yung mga residents ng kanilang, ng local government units will be improved. Yung kanilang welfare, well-being, meron silang sanitation, water, all the conveniences, etc. But if they make it attractive, masyadong maraming taong pumapasok. So, may dilemma ang local governments that was supposed to have been settled by that local government code, pero hindi po na-implement. Ayan ang problema. So please, we have a problem. We have a problem that unless there is a way to make the Metro Manila less attractive to the migrants from outside Metro Manila, then there is going to be not only a continuing problem, but a deepening problem. Now, how is the government naman solving it? Ito ang nangyari sa Makati. And this is why this program came about in the first place, because the Makati, Guatemala demolition incident was the one that brought this all up to a head. 236 families in Makati, Guatemala, on an 800 square meter lot. Most of those 236 families, andyan yan for 30 years. That was owned by somebody else. Yung loteng yon was supposed to have been, ang narinig ko, but I have not confirmed it, is that used to be owned by a private citizen. Binili ng Makati noong 2005. Gusto nang paalisin ng Makati since 2005. So you can understand also Makati's problem. 2005, pag gusto na nilang paalisin. Yung ayaw naman, umalis. Yung ando doon, tagal-tagal na nila ron eh. Okay? Now, question. Ano ang gagawin? Ang alternatives. Alternative na binigay sa mga, and this is I think, a microcosm of the problem elsewhere. O mag-relocate namin kayo. Saan? Sa Kalawang. Magkano ang transportation from Kalawang to Manila? 130 pesos, 110 pesos. 110 pesos from here to Los Baños. Kalawang is farther. So let's say 130 pesos one way. That's 260. Is anybody going to want to go to Kalawang whose business or whose work is in Makati? Of course not. Ano ang second alternative? Narinig natin, mga kapuso. The second alternative was, okay, kung ayaw niyong mag-relocate doon, saan niyo gustong mag-relocate, babayaran kayo namin ng 24,000 pesos. Eh di syempre kukunin nila yung 24,000. Tapos, anong mangyayari? Ang nangyari is ma-export ang problema sa ibang mga munisipyo, other local government units because those people will not go elsewhere. Hindi ba? Merong saliksik na nagsasabi na mas mura for society ang in-city relocation kesa sa off-city relocation. Kung tutuusin mo all the problems of transportation, etc., and the relocation and all the problems associated with moving out and trying to get back in as far as jobs are concerned. In-city relocation, that's why we must congratulate Taguig. We must congratulate Marikina. We must congratulate Valenzuela. But on the other hand, we must remind everybody that that only works if at the same time that you are trying to improve the quality of the residents' lives, you are going to make it unattractive for people to come in from outside. So where is the solution there? Number one, as far as the local government units are concerned, the resolution has to be in city relocation. And please do not tell me that that is impossible because 1, Valenzuela is doing it, 2, Taguig is doing it, 3, Marikina has been doing it. In other words, ang kanilang solution is we're going to protect you, yung mga informal settlers na andito na, but at the same time, ayaw naman nila na bastang dadagsa informal sectors. You can understand that, right? Now, as far as the informal settlers are concerned, alam po natin na yung mga informal settlers na yan, maybe not in Guatemala, but the informal settlers are actually paying rent. Meron kasing mga nagpapaupa na miski hindi na kanila ang lote, magbabuild sila ng yung kubo or whatever ba, ipaparent nila. Okay, how much are they paying? Question, can that be paid elsewhere? I mean, by them to, in a community mortgage program? Of course, it can be paid. Ang problema po, and I say this with talagang a heavy heart, is ang ating mga kababayan, and maybe I'm included there, I don't know. Basta ang utang sa gobyerno, hindi binabayaran. Whether we are talking about fertilizer, whether we're talking about land, rice, seeds, etc. Basta hiniram mo sa gobyerno, hindi nyo binabayaran. Binabayaran natin kung hinihiram natin sa private sector, pero sa gobyerno hindi. And what happens is that the government does not have the money to keep the program going. That's it. So that's the informal settlers, please. You must be part of the solution also. You can say, ito ang mababayad namin and we will do it for 30 years. Ang problema dun sa Makati, ayaw nilang i-community mortgage program yung 800 square meter lots. So there's the local government, there is the informal settler problem, and now we're talking about the national government. Anong binigay niya as far as Metro Manila is concerned? 10 billion pesos a year for the next 5 years. But that is only going to tackle those who are living dun sa mga tinatawag na hazardous areas, the waterways, etc. That is about 20,000 families a year. Out of 584 families, there is no way that you are going to solve that problem. Hindi ba? So, unless national government, local government, the informal sectors, and the civil society organizations, get together, and unless they assume collective responsibility, hindi pwedeng iyo yan, wala akong problema, wala akong responsibilidad. Unless we do that, then we are going to continue having these problems of informal settlers. And you know what happens when there is talagang crowding and pressure on the infrastructure and the water? What happens is everybody's quality of life goes down. Do we want that? No, we don't want that. So what are we going to do? Please, can we all assume that collective responsibility and say, I do not want to be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. Kung hindi natin sasabihin yan, syempre, masasaway kayo. Kasi, bawal po ang pasaway. Kay Mareng Winnie.